Hey guys, Sam here, and today is a very special day. Why? Well, on this day in 1996, Pocket Monsters Red and Green were released on the Nintendo Game Boy in Japan before heading overseas as Pokemon Red and Blue. This, alongside the anime, helped spark a worldwide phenomenon that's still staying strong to this day, with over 700 of the little cute critters that you have to catch to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Just know when you see me, you're looking at the very best. You could have 10 Master Balls, you still can't match the very best.
So, to celebrate this fantastic moment, I thought it'd be a good idea for you all to share my very own memories of the game, my first exposure to it, my first game, and my most important memories about it. So, let's go! Let's go! Okay, where do I begin? Pokemon. At least for me and my family, it has always been prevalent. I was born in November of 1998, so I don't remember the first time Pokemon hit the scene and everybody went ham all over it. However, my brothers were around during the craze and remember it clear as day. Our Game Boys were draped with stickers, vicious battles commenced over the playground, the trading card games, and watching the anime on a Saturday morning with SMTV on CITV, and Anton Deck hosted the show. Seriously, who remembers children's TV on a Saturday morning? Nowadays, all it is just bloody cooking shows and political shows. Throughout the 2000s, our passion for Pokemon was still burning strong. We bought a copy of Pokemon Silver from our neighbours, had a whale of a time with Generation 3, and bought the Pokemon World magazine despite interest from other series like Digimon, Beyblade, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Fast forward to 2007, and when I was 8 years old, Generation 4 kicked off. I can still remember my brother Ollie spending the entire summer playing Pokemon Pearl, even during our trip to the Isle of Wight. I had brief memories playing of it, and even when I did, I didn't really care about the battles, to be perfectly honest. Like, whenever I came across a wild Pokemon, I would just simply run away because I'm a big pussy. But that said, the Sinnoh region was alright actually, and I think I used a Master Ball once on the Bidoof. Ollie, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. In fact, when I turn 18, I will buy you a drink. Capiche? Capiche? Next up is 2010, and finally I got my first big adventure that I could truly call my own. Pokemon Soulsilver. I had read about the remakes through the official Nintendo magazine and, feeling genuinely interested, I had gotten a DSi for my 11th birthday in 2009 and I thought, why the hell not? So I pre-ordered my copy with the promise of a dense, sexy Lugia figure, bought the strategy guide and finally got it on the launch day of March 26, 2010. Also, I went to a year 6 school disco on that day, partied hard to the cha-cha slide with my girls, and overdosed, got high on some orange juice. Trust me, that shit is lethal. And I never got that Lugia figure. Game, you idiots! When playing Pokemon Soulsilver, it was a wonderful immersive experience. The more I played it, the more my passion for Pokemon grew. I loved the updated gameplay, the soundtrack, the battles, and even appreciated the small things like how a Pokemon can follow you around, adding charm to their personality, and the Pokewalker that came bundled with the game. I took it around several times and it was another attempt by Nintendo to get fit, which they tried again with Street Pass on the 3DS and Pokemon Go these days. All these features were vital into ensuring a classic lustful journey, and I beat the Elite Four a week later because I'm a boss. Like a boss! And when I thought the game couldn't get any better, I'd realised the inclusion of the Kanto region, adding more meat to the bones, the opportunity to fill my Pokédex with more region-exclusive Pokemon and legendaries, and a few more memories created, like the one time I went to the power station and came across a shiny Voltorb. Obviously I tried catching it, but the attempt failed, and afterwards, guess what? The Voltorb used self-destruct. 11-year-old me was so heartbroken. Shortly after the release of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the announcement of Generation 5 was made. Pokemon Black and White! I was ecstatic about the announcement, and it looked great considering what the DS is capable of, but the faraway release date of spring 2011 kinda disappointed me. I'd already completed Soul Silver, and so what else could I do to ease the painful, ceaseless wait? I had the likes of Super Mario Galaxy 2 to keep me company, but that wasn't going to be enough in the dark, gloomy autumn, and so I copped up £20 to secure a copy of Pokemon Platinum, which will become my second own Pokemon adventure. I had the chance to discover the Sinnoh region on my own, and greatly enjoyed it again, even with the Distortion world with its creepy vibes and my successful capture of a Giratina. My team was similar to my brother's Pokemon Pearl squad. I had the Infernape, a Staraptor named after a RuneScape player named Zezima, and Sparks the Luxray, which Luxray is my favourite Pokemon of all time. No joke. Finally, 2011 had arrived, and while there was Pokemon Black and the 3DS to look forward to, tragic news struck our family. My uncle, Geoffrey Wren, had sadly passed away at the age of 78 on the 16th of February of that year. So you can imagine all the emotional trauma and stress that my family as a whole was facing through during this sad, distressing period. His funeral was on the 4th of March, which, believe it or not, was the exact same day that Pokemon Black and White were released in Europe. Coincidence? I don't think so. On that day, all of us headed to Lowestoft to attend his funeral, and I picked up my copy of the game fresh from the tributes and obituaries of such an impeccable individual. Thankfully, the game was key into helping me recover from the heartbreak of Granddad's passing. It was a colourful, lively trip across the Unova region, from the big skylines of Castelia City, the buzz around Nimbasa City, and all the creative gyms with different puzzles needed to get through the building. I even figured out how to get all 3 starters with a Snivy and an Oshawott to accompany my Tepig, named Twated, through the global trade station. Aside from the millions of people begging for legendaries through their tame-ass level 5 Lillipups. Personally, when a game has the ability to lift you up during such an important, dwindling moment in your life, that is when I believe that you made the right choice to pick up that game and that controller to play this great, perfect game. And that's how I feel about Pokemon Black. It came out during a critical period and helped soothe the pain surrounding the event, and I'll never forget that when the subject of Pokemon Black and White comes into mind. Also, the next day I got to try out a 3DS for the first time as a demo unit 20 days before it came out in Europe. Huzzah! Generation 5 was when I became more interested about the series overall. Pokemon Black 2 was another solid entry to the series, adding more depth to the Unova region, and I can still remember being on the Survey website and reading the announcement, feeling over the moon like, oh my god! I played the spin-offs like Super Pokemon Rumble, despite being advertised by the boy band Sausage Fest known as One Direction, Love of Pokemon Typing Adventure, which I did a review on, Pokemon Conquest, a bizarre eccentric mix between Pokemon and Nonobunaga's Ambition, which, to be fair, I didn't really like, to be perfectly honest, and I traded my copy when Pokemon Black 2 came out and got that instead. Also, shout out to my good friend Trailer Drake for making a good review on that game. Cheers, man. And finally, the anime. I watched it as a guilty pleasure and I enjoyed it. It brought back innocent memories of Saturday mornings glued to the TV, watching CITV blaring on Ash Ketchum and his adventures with his Pikachu pimp. Alongside the movies, it was pleasant overall. However, I never told anybody, as 13-year-old me would have been torn to shreds by my evil friends, and the only problem with the anime was that there were lots of pointless characters and filler episodes, like, who the hell is Luke? Aspiring film director, a poor man's George Lucas, and Georgia, only there to serve as the rival to Iris and Axu. Okay? Lastly, Generation 6. January 8th, 2013 was a monumental day. I woke up, checked out the scheduled Pokemon Direct, and guess what? Pokemon X and Y! Woo! The reveal was a massive surprise. Nobody had anticipated a brand new generation to have come out of the blue. All we were expecting anyways was just some pointless, lame spin-off or something way less significant. Even more impressive was the international release date of October 12th. Finally, everyone on the same day could embrace the euphoria of a brand new generation with the France-inspired Kalos region and the impressive, amazing 3D graphics which were mind-blowing at the time. However, the tied-up dicks at Peter had to ruin the celebrations with a jab at the series, claiming that Pokemon glamorizes animal cruelty. Oh shit! Holy confirmed! Yes, finally, the Generation 3 remakes came to fruition as Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And once again, the release date was glorious as Super Smash Bros. For Wii U came out on the exact same day. I cannot stress enough how good it was to see these games, which have been joked about, come together and allow a new generation to discover the home region with lots of skitty Wailord action. I shouldn't have said that. So, there you have it. At least for now, Pokemon, one of the greatest series of all time. It's amazing to think how long this has been going for, how it's connected so many people, and how it's opened up so many opportunities for RPGs and video games in general. I am very grateful to witness the triumph of Pokemon and all their loyal fans, and I have some good news to tell you all. This spring, I will be collaborating with Birdkeeper Toby, a British PokeTuber. Yep, the deal has been made, and we had a nice Skype chat together last month. One video will appear on my channel with Mr. Toby himself, and another video will appear on his channel with me starring in it. Happy days! So, I'll finish this video off with a question. What memories do you have of Pokemon? What was your first Pokemon game? Most important memory? And what was your favourite Pokemon of all time? Be sure to shoot your comments down below, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more great content. Anyways, here's to another 20 copacetic years for Pokemon and Pokemon Sun and Moon. I am so bloody excited! Woo! And finally, the anime. I watched it as a guilty pleasure and I enjoyed it. It brought back innocent memories of Saturday mornings glued to the TV, watching CITV blaring on Ash Ketchum and his adventures with his Pikachu pimp. Pikachu pimp! Motherfucker in the house! Oh shit! Hurry confirmed! I keep doing this 1 minute.